Yeah, hi Anik. Yeah,
Hello, Harry.
yeah. It's like so we met we met the first time when we actually was in the open space event. Is can you like just a little bit about yourself a bit?
Yes, I'm from Quebec in Canada. I'm French speaking, and I'm a facilitator of open space technology. And the first time we met was at the Peace and High Performance Open Space Technology event online,
Yeah.
and we kept in touch since then. Um,
Wow. I love that topic, peace and high performance. That we're very it feel like contract, but it's not. Yeah.
yeah,
This open space is kind of the thing that's really new for us for Vietnamese people, and what we're gonna have an open space event in the next month, and so if you can have a clear sense of open space, it, I know you've been in open space for a long time, and so if you can give us a clear sense of open space, what would it be?
yeah. Um, Actually, open space technology is a beautiful way of gathering people who have a common passion. And it's been around for many years, actually, since 1985. And it came from an inspiration received by a guy named Harrison Owen. And he actually wrote a first book and then many other books about open space technology. And this is the user's guide. I personally discovered open space technology when I was at the university. It was in 1998, and I was working at the university's conference office. And we were organizing conferences for professionals in the field of law. And so we were working many, many months to invite speakers and organize everything. And when these conferences were happening, I found them so boring. There were speakers doing their speech in front of maybe 100 people, um, kind of in a classroom. And I was thinking there are so many intelligent and wonderful people in this room. How come
And
we
you're a
don't
person,
have the
right?
time? Well, we don't get the chance to know them. They
Mm,
don't get the chance to speak. Um, there's no exchange. There's no communication between them.
mm,
And the only fun part of these events was during lunchtime or during the coffee breaks, where these people had like 10 minutes or maximum 45 minutes to uh, to talk with each other and to meet and to do some networking. So I thought to myself, there must be another way. It can, like, it can't be it. There must be some other way. And as a couple of weeks after this reflection and this kind of request to the universe, I shared these thoughts with a friend, and he knew somebody who had just come from the United States with a book. And this was the book. And he told me, you should read this. And I did. And I was amazed. This is a user's guide, very simple, and it really tells the story of how open space was born and how to facilitate it in very there's a lot of humor, and it's in very simple words. So I read this and I thought, oh my God, if this works for real, this is what I was looking for. It's wonderful. Now, open space technology is very, very simple. It's based on a universal principle of self-organization. Nature self-organizes, our bodies self-organize, but we still learn in school that we have to manage groups and we have to organize things for things to happen. So, and in open space, we use a lot the circle. And the circle, what Harrison Owen tells us in the book is that he's worked a lot in Africa, in small communities.
Firstly,
And when they,
can I'm
yes,
really interested in when you say the word self-organization. What are
yeah,
different with self-organization with the other kind of organizations?
yeah. Well, when you trust that people will self-organize, um, it's it's a lot easier. The event is a lot easier to organize. It takes much less energy and time. You only have to explain the rules of the game at the beginning, and as a facilitator, fully trust that these human beings assembled in
Mm.
front of you will self-organize because they all share a common passion. Um, and so it's very, very different. Um, so you don't have to spend months and to organize things and to find the best speakers and to monitor their speeches and to control everything. Like, no, you don't have to do that because when you invite people for an open space, you invite them with a question that they're all passionate about and they're free to come. It's voluntary. And if they're there, it's because they love this topic and they love to discuss this topic and they would like to find solutions together. So it's a lot easier to organize. Um, it's it took me, even if it was so easy, because we have this program, that anything of value has to be hard work. If it's hard work, it's valuable. But that's a program, that's a false belief. And but I had that belief, and that's why probably it took me 10 years before I facilitate my first open space event. So I read this many times before I felt it was the right time for me to to dive in and to organize it.
Yeah, that you when you talk about like many times, it make me nervous. It's gonna be my first one next month.
But I did not have anybody to rely on. I'm assisting you with your event, even at a distance, and it's really a pleasure for me to do that. But I didn't have that kind of assistance when I started. I only had the book. I didn't know anybody who was facilitating open space here in my region. So I started with a small group of friends, and we were all volunteering for an organization, and I tried it. And since there is always food and beverages in an open space event, one of the people there, a woman, volunteered to bring a delicious soup, and I still remember the the wonderful taste of this soup. And we gathered in a very simple place, and it worked wonderfully well. So that was my first experience with open space technology.
I feel it's open space just like the place for people to collect intelligence instead of like listen in on one intelligence of the speaker and think that that person will give you the right answer. Basically, open space, you create the space and with your question and you can collect the intelligence from the people that who interested in the topic that you are proposing. I kind of that is the resources, the intelligence from everyone we actually can collect and listen from that.
Yes, and in an open space technology event, everybody is considered as an expert. So people don't have to come prepared. They don't have to read a lot or educate themselves a lot before they participate in the event. Because if they are really passionate, if they are really interested about the theme, the big question, and if they have questions about it, if they'd like to hear about it and share, they are the right people. And
Yeah.
this is the first principle. Actually, there are only 4 principles in a law in open space
Yeah.
technology.
I was
And
asking like, because it's that when the host will there you say self-organized, there will be no one hierarchical person that would say, hey, you need to do this step, this step, this step. And so can you share more about I heard he's like 4 principle, 5
yeah,
principle, and 1 law that is the one that holds the space for the open space.
yeah. Actually, the facilitator's job is really to explain the principles and to emanate the trust and the love for this formula, this gathering formula, so that people they feel free to experiment it. So the first principle is whoever comes is the right people. Now, do you see it? Can you read it on your
Beautiful
side?
picture
No?
and beautiful writing. I can see it very clearly.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yes, this is my friend, artist Marie-Hélène Rajat, who did the painting for the cards. So whoever comes is the right people. So if you're interested in the topic, you are the right people. If you'd like to share about it, you are the right people. And the second principle is whatever happens is the only thing that could have.
Oh, I
So
love
when people
it.
leave an open space event, well, there's no regrets and they don't have to worry. Whatever happened is the only thing that could have. Um, so it's a good principle for peace of mind. And they're very ancient principles. They're just used in this gathering formula. And the third principle is whenever it starts is the right time. So
I need to
as
learn
you've
this.
pro
I
sorry?
need to learn this. Can you share more about
Yes, you probably experimented in your life like wonderful ideas. They don't necessarily happen between 9 o'clock and 5 o'clock, you know? So to be creative can happen anytime. And this is one of the principles.
Oh, you
And
know
the
what?
last,
I
yes,
with me, I was always like punctual. You know, like when someone was late, like 9:01 or 9:02, I got disturbed, and so it's really to learn about this principle is really it's get me a lot of peace whenever it started in nighttime.
yeah.
I need to tell my mom as well because my mom I always ask me when I have a girlfriend. I need to bring this principle to my mom. Whenever it's the right time.
Yeah, and it's also helpful when we have multicultural groups because depending on the country you're coming from, punctuality does not have the same definition. So you don't have to worry about it in open space technology, and gives a lot of flexibility.
Mm.
So the fourth principle is when it's over, it's over. So there might be 45 minutes or an hour scheduled for a discussion to happen, but if people feel that after 15 minutes they're done, well, they can go someplace else, and it's okay. And if after the hour they feel that there's still a lot to say, well, they are free to continue the conversation. They can find another place that is not occupied by anybody, and they can pursue the conversation. There's a fifth principle that has been added by facilitators
Oh, so
around
originally it's not it didn't have that principle, and so right now it be added. This
yeah,
fifth
it's
principle.
been added yeah, over the
Oh,
years, and it's wherever it happens is the right place. So really, open space technology has been is can be used in any place, in, for example, in very urgent situations, in the woods. It can happen anywhere, and it really trusts as you said, the human intelligence. And there is a very, very important law, and that's the only law in open space technology. And if
what's the
people
difference?
dare,
What's
sorry,
the difference between that five principle and one law? What that mean
yeah.
between, why is that five principle and this is law?
Well, that's a good question, but it's true that this law, when people dare to apply it and to comply to it, really, it makes the whole thing a lot more fun. And they feel free, so it's a gift. This law is really a gift. And I think people can really enjoy open space technology when they follow this law, and it's the law of mobility. And sometimes you can hear about it as the law of 2 feet. So the law of mobility says that when you feel as a participant that you don't contribute to a conversation, or that you don't learn from this conversation, you must go someplace else. So you can go have a drink, you can go eat, you can go to the washroom, you can go breathe some air, you can go from one discussion group to another. You are free to do that. So please don't stay where you don't feel good. Where you don't feel you benefit from staying there. So this is very, very different from the conventional.
Yeah,
Um,
you're in the room. That's
uh,
all. You're not.
yes. When people are listening to a speaker, and they feel bored, and they feel the need to stay there because they
Yeah.
don't want to disturb anybody, that's very uncomfortable. And but in open space technology, you don't have to stay where you don't feel it's good for you to stay.
Well,
So you can use the law of
law.
mobility.
I really love this law. I remember what they say is when you come into play and you cannot contribute anything, and you're receiving nothing, so
Mhm.
you must leave this area. That was so true for us when we sometimes we get some play, and we're not interested, we receive nothing, and we not want to contribute anything, and then we still stare. It's
Yeah.
really wasting resources. And so this law just amazing that if nothing happened, you should come to come to the play that you can benefit, or you can benefit others.
Yeah. And this is basically, this means follow your passion. And I think this law um, is very kind. It's when you, as a participant, when you accept to follow this law, you welcome kindness in your life, because you can really follow your heart and go wherever you feel excited about being. So
Mm.
so this can be applied in any situation in our lives, as you said.
How's that kindness for you? How's it the word kindness is related to this law for you?
Um, well, as you said, to stay where somewhere where you feel depleting, and when you feel that you don't receive anything and you don't contribute anything, is very violent to a human being. So it's violence that we're imposing ourselves. And I've done that before. I've stayed in situations where I was, my heart was not there, and
Mm.
I was not following my passion by staying there. But I felt many, all kinds of constraints that were keeping me there. But we are always free. I was free. I was free to leave that situation and be kind to myself and really follow my passion, and follow the heart, the inspiration. So yeah, I think this, to experience these principles uh, and this law of mobility in a group, a friendly group in an open space technology event, is very inspiring for um, the rest of our life. It's really, these principles have really inspired me through the years.
Yeah, and can you I remember you have two picture about the butterfly and the bumble. Can you explain more about that? Like with how,
Yeah, they're behind me. So there are two, yeah, there are two behaviors that you might see or even experiment in an open space event, and it's okay. You're free to be a butterfly. So butterflies, in an event, they don't seem to do much. They're just there, and they're chatting, and they're watching, and they're drinking and eating, and they're just beautiful. But they're very important because they are great listeners, and they are space, they offer space for non-doing, and this is very important in life in general. And they are inspirations. So you don't have to worry if you go to an event, an open space technology event, and you don't feel like doing much. Just be there and enjoy the moment. You are free to do that. You're a butterfly.
yeah.
And there's another behavior that we see also in open space technology, and they're bumblebees. So those are people who are very curious, and they like to be everywhere at the same time, because in open space technology events, there are many discussions happening at the same time. And some people just can't stay at one place. They have to go from one group to another, and they bring information. They bring valuable information that they heard from other groups to these groups, and they move, and they are they are great, and you are free to be a bumblebee in an open space technology event. They're very welcome.
Yeah. or maybe something else happened in Vietnam. Maybe invent something else. And can I how long you been with the open space already? I think you've been with the open space for a long time, right?
Yes, since 1998, and then I started
Really?
using it in 2008. So
Wow.
I've been interested in it since 1998, but I'm a practitioner since 2008. And
Wow. What keep
yeah,
you with open space just for so long? Wow.
yeah, I just love it. Yes, and now that we know how to facilitate open space events online, there's no limit to what we can do. So when people, groups, organizations have a question that they don't have any answer for, it's the right time to use open space technology. It makes a whole difference. And
Mm,
we get amazing results.
mm,
It's a beautiful way to gather people, and it's very nourishing also for the participants. No, it's quite rare that you in conventional meetings that people leave with a feeling of being re-energized and feeling of proximity, you know, having developed friendships and feeling inspired and ready to be in action. No, we have so many meetings that are tiring ourselves, like depleting our energy. Now, when we have enough of that, we can look at open space technology and offer this beautiful gift to groups.
mm.